Have you ever wondered if the objects around you hold a secret curse, waiting to unleash its wrath? Welcome to the enigmatic world of cursed objects. These seemingly ordinary items carry a dark and mysterious history that often sends chills down the spine. From paintings that cause misfortune to mirrors that hold captive spirits, these objects have been a source of fear, curiosity, and intrigue for centuries. The belief in cursed objects is not a new phenomenon. It has its roots deeply embedded in the annals of history. Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians were known for their belief in curses, especially those associated with tombs and burial sites. The infamous tale of Pharaoh Tutankhamun's tomb is a classic example. When archaeologists first opened the tomb in the early 20th century, they were met with a series of unfortunate events, leading many to believe that they had unleashed a deadly curse. But the Egyptians were not alone in their belief in cursed objects. Many cultures around the world have shared similar beliefs. In ancient Rome, for example, it was believed that certain talismans could bring misfortune or even death upon their owners. In Asia, stories of cursed swords and haunted dolls have been part of folklore for centuries. These early civilizations believed that objects could hold spiritual or magical properties, and that these properties could be harnessed for good or evil. They believed that a cursed object could bring misfortune, illness, or even death to those who possessed or disturbed them. This belief was so strong that it influenced their rituals, their art, and even their day-to-day life. Even today, these stories continue to captivate us, filling us with a sense of dread and fascination. Despite our advancements in science and technology, the mystery of cursed objects remains unsolved, further fueling our curiosity. These ancient civilizations may have been the first to fear cursed objects, but they were certainly not the last. As we delve deeper into this mystifying subject, we will uncover more about these objects that continue to instill fear and fascination in our hearts. Stay tuned as the mystery unfolds. As we move into the Middle Ages, the belief in cursed objects took a dark and sinister turn. The Middle Ages, also known as the Dark Ages, was a time of great upheaval and fear. As society grappled with war, famine, and disease, people sought to make sense of the chaos around them. One way they did this was through the belief in cursed objects. These were not just any objects. They were items believed to carry a malevolent curse that could bring misfortune, illness, or even death to those who came into contact with them. As the fear of the supernatural and the unknown intensified, so too did the belief in these cursed objects. During this time, the lines between religion and superstition blurred. The church played a central role in society, and it was a common belief that cursed objects were the work of the devil or his minions. This led to a widespread fear of witchcraft and demonic possession. Anyone suspected of creating or owning a cursed object was often accused of witchcraft, a crime punishable by death. One of the most infamous examples of cursed objects from the Middle Ages is the cursed jewel of King Louis IX of France. This precious gem was believed to bring ill fortune to its owner. Legend has it that King Louis IX acquired the jewel, and soon after, his reign was plagued with strife and hardship. His subjects suffered from famine and disease, and he himself fell ill and died under mysterious circumstances. Many believed that the cursed jewel was to blame. The Middle Ages was a time when the belief in the power of cursed objects was at its peak. These objects, whether they were jewels, relics, or everyday items, were seen as tangible manifestations of the unknown and the supernatural. They were a source of fear, but also a source of fascination. The Middle Ages was a time of fear and superstition, and cursed objects were at the very heart of it. These objects served as a reminder of the dark and unknown forces that people believed shaped their lives, and their belief in them continues to captivate our imagination to this day. In the modern world, the fascination with cursed objects continues, with many fearing their deadly touch. Despite our advancements in science and technology, the allure of the unknown persists, and with it, the fear and intrigue surrounding these mysterious objects. Take, for instance, the infamous Hope Diamond. This dazzling gem, ensconced within the Smithsonian Institute, is said to carry a curse that brings misfortune and tragedy to its owner. The diamond's history is marked by a string of suicides, murders, and financial ruin. Is it mere coincidence, or is the curse real? The debate continues. Then there's the Dybbuk box, a wine cabinet said to contain a malicious spirit from Jewish folklore, a Dybbuk. It gained notoriety when it was auctioned on eBay, with the seller detailing a series of eerie occurrences linked to the box. The new owner reportedly experienced horrific nightmares, health problems, and unexplained phenomena. Even now, the Dybbuk box is considered one of the most haunted objects in the world. And it's not just these famous examples that capture our collective imagination. All around the world, from small towns to bustling cities, tales of cursed objects persist. There's the cursed painting of a crying boy, said to cause fires in the homes where it hangs, and the woman from Lem statue, blamed for causing sudden deaths in the families of its successive owners. Such stories, whether steeped in truth or born out of superstition, continue to captivate us. The fear of the unknown, the thrill of the supernatural, the allure of the unexplained, they all contribute to our fascination with these objects. Despite the skepticism of scientists and rationalists, these tales persist, passed down through generations, whispered in hushed tones, shared over flickering campfires and across digital platforms. As long as there is mystery in the world, the legend of cursed objects will endure. These modern examples show that the fear of cursed objects is not just a relic of the past. Instead, it's a testament to our enduring fascination with the unknown, the unexplained, and the unexplored. But what evidence is there that these objects are truly cursed? There's a fine line between science and the paranormal, and when it comes to cursed objects, that line seems to blur. Scientifically speaking, it's challenging to prove that an object is cursed. After all, how do you measure a curse? Yet there are countless instances of strange occurrences tied to certain objects that simply can't be explained by conventional means. Take the infamous Hope Diamond, for example. It's been linked to a string of unfortunate events from bankruptcies to untimely deaths. Then there's the eerie Crying Boy painting, which has been associated with numerous house fires, yet the painting itself remains unscathed amidst the ashes. Anecdotal evidence also abounds. There are countless stories of personal experiences with cursed objects. People report feeling uneasy or ill when near these items, or face a string of bad luck after coming into contact with them. Paranormal enthusiasts and ghost hunters often share tales of haunted dolls that move on their own, or antique mirrors that show more than just the viewer's reflection. In this digital age, there have even been instances where cursed objects were allegedly caught on camera. Objects moving inexplicably, strange apparitions, and sudden temperature drops in the vicinity of these items have been documented. Skeptics argue that these could be hoaxes or the result of natural phenomena, while believers see it as definitive proof of curses. The scientific community remains largely skeptical. They argue that these incidents could be chalked up to coincidence, confirmation bias, or even mass hysteria. After all, the human mind is capable of powerful self-deception when it comes to fear and the unknown. Yet the fear of cursed objects persists. Despite the lack of concrete scientific evidence, the stories, the personal experiences, and the unexplainable incidents caught on camera have led many to believe in their existence. The evidence may be controversial, but for many, the fear of cursed objects is very real. Even those in the limelight are not immune to the curse. In the world of the rich and famous, where opulence and extravagance are the norms, it's not surprising that celebrities too have had their fair share of encounters with cursed objects. Let's delve into some of these chilling instances. One of the most infamous cases involves the heartthrob of the 50s, James Dean, and his ill-fated Porsche Spyder, nicknamed Little Bastard. Dean, a passionate racer, purchased the car in September 1955. Tragically, within a week, he met a fatal accident while driving it. The curse didn't end there. In the following years, anyone who came into contact with the car's remnants seemed to meet a similar fate, cementing the car's reputation as cursed. Then there's the eerie Curse of Superman. This supposed curse haunts those who have played the iconic role of Superman on screen. The most notable victim of this curse was George Reeves, the first actor to play Superman on TV, who died under mysterious circumstances. Decades later, Christopher Reeve, who portrayed Superman in the 70s and 80s, suffered a horse riding accident that left him paralyzed. Rudolph Valentino, a silver screen heartthrob of the silent film era, was said to have been cursed by a ring. Legend has it, anyone who wore the ring met with misfortune or an untimely death. Valentino himself died at the young age of 31, and his lover Pola Negri fell seriously ill after wearing the ring. These celebrity encounters with cursed objects serve as a chilling reminder that not even fame or fortune can shield one from the sinister reach of a curse. Whether it's a seemingly innocent ring, a beloved car, or a coveted role, cursed objects don't discriminate. These celebrity encounters show that cursed objects can strike anyone, anywhere. Despite the risks, some people are drawn to these cursed objects, using them for their own purposes. These individuals are either driven by an insatiable curiosity, a desire for thrills, or perhaps for darker, more sinister reasons that we can only speculate about. Take for example the case of a thrill seeker who purchased a so-called cursed painting from an online auction. The painting, infamous for its eerie depictions and a series of unfortunate events befalling previous owners, was bought as a conversation piece, a daring act of defiance against the supernatural. However, upon receiving the painting, the thrill quickly turned to dread, as the owner started experiencing a string of bad luck, from minor mishaps to major life-altering events. Then there's the story of a man who intentionally bought a cursed ring, believing he could harness its alleged powers for personal gain. This individual, a self-proclaimed sorcerer, thought he could control the curse and bend it to his will. However, he soon found himself entangled in a web of misfortune, his life spiraling out of control. Despite his desperate attempts to rid himself of the ring, it would always find its way back to him, seemingly attached to his fate. There are also tales of cursed objects being used in dark rituals, their inherent negative energy exploited to inflict harm or bring about chaos. These instances, while less common, are perhaps the most chilling, as they involve the deliberate and malevolent use of curses. It's important to note that these are not just stories, they are real-life incidents, documented and verified by numerous sources. Yet, despite the horror and misfortune that seems to invariably follow these cursed objects, people continue to seek them out, drawn by a morbid fascination or a reckless disregard for the potential consequences. Playing with cursed objects is a dangerous game and one that many regret. So, what have we learned about cursed objects? Well, since time immemorial, cursed objects have been a part of our history. From the superstitions of the Dark Middle Ages to the chilling tales of the modern world, they've always been there, lurking in the shadows. We've explored the evidence, some of it quite compelling, that suggests these objects may indeed carry a curse. The stories of celebrities who've had unfortunate encounters with such items also serve to fuel the intrigue and fear surrounding these enigmatic artifacts. Perhaps the most chilling part is the very real danger that can come from using these cursed objects. The tales of misfortune and despair that follow those who dare to tamper with them serve as a stark warning. Whether you believe in cursed objects or not, there's no denying their enduring hold on our collective imagination. Until next time, tread lightly around that antique store